Hey folks, we're live, we're back. It's time to wrap up the nuclear plant. Welcome back to Satisfactory. All right, let's get into this. We're gonna need heat sinks and steel beams. We're gonna have to get those connected to these bad boys right here. Now, one other thing I need to check on before we get into that is how much of this concrete I'm actually using over here. Because we want to start keeping better track of how much we're using. So we're using 45 and 45. That's 90 per minute. All right, let's head back home. And let's start out by doing our housekeeping. Let's get our signage updated over here. One thing we are going to need to do after this, and before we move on to whatever's next, is we're going to need to clean up our iron ore production over here. There's a lot of iron ore flying around here, and I would like to be sure we're using it efficiently and that there's some free for other purposes. So our concrete... Where's our concrete sign? Okay. So we're using another 90 over here than we were before. So the total in use... Add 90 to 242. That gives us 332 in use, right? 24 plus 9 is 33. $332 in use, which leaves 68 free, right? Not sure if we're going to use that 68 for anything, but we'll see. Hey, Compboy100, welcome back to the channel. You were fast to get here. Okay, so the majority of that concrete has been used. There's 68 free. That's not a huge amount. That's a Mark V. But those are Mark IIs. That's problematic at best. Let's get those upgraded. That's the line that has to be fast. Is it me, or does that seem slow? That's a Mark II lift. Okay, hold on. I've missed this. There we go. Now the concrete flows. Excellent. Okay. So again, that line doesn't particularly matter. This line does. A little bit's going on to that line. That's fine. Okay. So that takes care of housekeeping to a degree. I need to get a lot better about the housekeeping, to be honest, so I can use my resources effectively. We need to now head back over. So let's fling ourselves over there. You can get cleaned up, I think. I guess I'll leave this here for now. Where's the box? Take all. There we go. Okay. Let's get back over to the nuclear plant and finish up our build and turn it on. I'm very excited for that. All right, that'll take us to the power plant. Let's hop in and take a ride. Before we do, we'll just switch over to the jetpack real quick. It's a long road carrying stuff. All right. So we need 2 more sets of inputs. We're going to need 1 for the steel beams. And we're going to need 1 for the heat sinks. Okay. I'm not exactly sure how these are going to look like, but let's set this up as best we can for now. Not sure which direction. I guess they're going to come from... I'm not sure where they're going to come from. Maybe we'll leave this part for later, actually. So, okay, I think how we're going to start here is we're going to set up a... That's the space elevator. Where's my nearest radio tower? There. That's a radar tower, right? And then I have another one over there. So We want something that kind of covers... We want something right around here that covers this area. Let's head in that direction and set up a radar tower to make sure we have visibility on resources. Mikos, welcome back to the channel. Evening to you. Thanks for joining. Kid of War, hello, welcome back to the channel. How late is it for you? It is 1:45 in the afternoon here, so it's early afternoon, just 3/4 of an hour after noon here in Los Angeles. This is my afternoon stream. Okay, somewhere around here, I think we'll build the tower and get a feel for its circular whatever, how it presents on the map. We could go a little bit south here. If I built this, so the nearest one's over here. It covers all of this and leaves like a little bit of that open. So let's take another look here. Yeah, that has just a very small amount of overlap. This is actually kind of a perfect location. We just want it a little bit further south. Like due south. Like right around here, I think, is kind of perfect. Let's go ahead and set some foundation for it. Let me switch to the 4 meter. I think that'll be fine. We'll just make it so that it has some sort of like basis in reality in terms of support, and then we'll throw it down on top here. I think this is going to be about perfect. Yeah, let's do that. And then your power can come down right here. And we'll grab power from... I guess this one's fine. Not using any power here. Okay, that should give us visibility here. Let's see. Yeah, that's kind of perfect. That placement is really strong. So we can see, for example, we have unclaimed raw quartz. We have limestone there. We've got some copper there. We've got claimed Caterium there. And the claimed uranium. Looks like we've got some unused iron over here. This is what I need first and foremost. I'm going to need this plus some coal. So it looks like this is the... Wait a minute, what do we got over here? That's iron ore. And that's copper. All right, we can get our iron and some of our coal from over here, perhaps. And then ship it north. Because the only other iron's over here. Not sure how we're doing the heat sinks, but I think we take this iron. I don't know if we need... yeah, I think we do need copper for... We need copper for heat sinks, but we also need aluminum. Is there any bauxite on the map? I don't see any, really. We have some bauxite over here somewhere. No, wait a minute. Where's the bauxite mine? It would be something we've claimed. We're claiming... I think that's the bauxite. Hold on. Let me see if there's any more bauxite around here. I want to hit V and search for bauxite. Yeah, I'm in LA. You're in the Netherlands? Kid War, you're eager to see me finish the project? Exciting. Okay. Yeah, we are not seeing a lot of bauxite nearby. I could have sworn there was some around here. Where is it? There's the closest one is due south of me. It's over there. Yikes, that's pretty far. And then that's the one we've claimed. Okay. So if I want more aluminum to make the heat sinks, I need aluminum and copper. Since the bauxite's the furthest away, maybe I'll end up doing that first. And then there's iron along the way. There might be more copper or more coal down here as well. So, yeah, the heat sinks are the most troubling part. Because we need alclad aluminum sheets and copper sheets. Now, you know what I should do before we embark on this is figure out exactly how much I need. Idea to let a train run that distance? That could be a good idea. Getting over all the verticality could be troubling, but it's an idea. We might do a train. I need to get out here and check my numbers on what I actually need. So how many heat sinks do we need and how much steel do we need? These are the last two pieces. It's probably going to take this entire stream to get this up and running. But I feel like at the end of the stream, I'll be able to turn on the uranium miner and we'll be able to see everything kick into gear. Okay, so we are going to need 3.75 times 2 is 7.5 heat sinks. And not that much in terms of steel beams. We're going to need 7.5 heat sinks and we're going to need 13.5 steel beams, right? So I'm sort of done with this. I've forgotten the numbers already. So heat sinks, we need 7.5. And then for steel beams, we need 12 plus 1.5 is 13.5. Honestly, that's not that much. The steel beams, I might just make exactly enough. Like, we might just kind of cheap out on the steel beams. The heat sinks, however, were kind of... I need it to be 100% reliable. And I don't remember what our heatsink production looks like right now. Let me go back to town, or to home, and figure that out. Yeah, one constructor for heatsinks. Let me take a look at what our heatsinks are right now. Because we're already making some, and I can't remember exactly what we're using them for. I also can't remember if we can up production. So I believe the heat sinks are going in here. Yeah, they are. Okay, how many are we producing and what are we using them for? I don't remember. So we got heat sinks coming out here, 7.5 per minute. Let me switch over to the hover pack here. Yeah, so we've got 7.5 times 2, 3, 4. All right, so we are making... we're making 30 heat sinks per minute here, right? And they're all going into the drone port. No, some of them are going on... No, that's the rubber coming in. Yeah, some of that's diverted to here. I think that's overflow is diverted into this for me. No, overflow's coming out here. So I'd have to change the way this works, but all right, so all of the heat sinks go into this drone port and get flown over to the fracking factory. Let me go see how much. Okay, so let's make sure we take notes here and don't lose track of numbers. Making 30 heat sinks. That's fine. We know we're making 30. I think they're being used for temporary production for something. We could scale that up, I think. We'd have to check our copper and aluminum sheet numbers, but I think we could get there. I might just be able to use those. I don't know. We'll have to find out. Where's my cannon? Over here? Okay. Let me switch to the jetpack and fling myself over to the fracking port, which is quite a ways down the coast. and remind myself what we're using the heat sinks for. Because part of this is temporary stuff we're going to have to rebuild later. Okay, so the heat sinks arrive here. And they go to the right. They go into this line, which is used for... What else do they do? It's going into these two blenders. This is making cooling systems. It's overstocked at the moment. The cooling systems are being used for... They're being exported. I guess they're going home? So how many are we using here of the heat sinks? 12 per minute? So we're using 24 of the 30 we produced. So if we underclock these slightly, we can leave this in place. Make slightly fewer cooling systems. I think these are going home, but then they're being used for something else. Oh, hold on. What is this? I need to follow this and make sure I fully understand how we're using things. I think I've just got a slug in here. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Well, for cleanliness' sake, let's blow this. I guess I'll pick you up. So we have 6 heat sinks to spare. We could probably grab them from here and use them for that if we make sure that we don't need every single one of these cooling systems. I don't think we do. So how many cooling systems are we making? We're making 6 per minute here, 6 per minute here. Now, interestingly, they do not appear to be flying home. No, they are. It's just... Wait, drone status cannot unload? Okay, so we might be full back home. Let's go check. So, all right. I gotta get these numbers exact. 6 per minute. 6 per minute. So we're making 12... Currently making 12 cooling systems. I think we might be able to repurpose this. Let's go home and check. So the second drone port is down below. It's collecting cooling systems, and I forget what it's using them for. But apparently it's full. Now, where is it? It's over here. So you can't unload because you're completely full of cooling systems. And where are your cooling systems going? What are they being used for? They are going up this lift, up to the top here. They're traveling around here. They're going up here. Okay. They're going into this container. Am I really not using them for anything else? This is full of cooling systems. I could have sworn there was some recipe that we were using these for. What are cooling systems used for? They're used in turbo motors and thermal propulsion rockets. Okay, so I was doing the turbo motors by hand. So yeah, we can absolutely repurpose some of the cooling systems and use them for the plutonium fuel rods. Okay, that is totally fine. That is totally fine. So as a reminder to myself for the future, let me come over here to the drone port and let's put a pin in this. So instead of 30 heat sinks makes 12 cooling systems per minute. So this is going to get less than 12 cooling systems per minute. Okay, I'm going to have to go back and make notes and come back and do signage later. But I want to keep track of how many cooling systems I'm actually using. It's the heat sinks I need, but that's going to reduce our cooling system production, which is fine. I just want to make sure I keep track of these numbers. Because it's starting to get confusing, and if I don't have signage everywhere to remind myself, I don't know if I'm using my resources efficiently. Okay, I think we're on track here, though. We're using 24, no, 12, yeah. There goes the train. Moving at a pretty good clip. Okay. So we need some heat sinks for ourselves, right? And we need to track how many we're using out of the 30 we're producing. So I'm using 12 per minute in each of these. That's 24 in both. And I need to get back. That leaves, I think, 6 left over. I have 6 left over. I need 7.5. So I need 1.5 less, which means 0.75 less on each. So instead of using 12, I need to be using 11.25. So 11.25 divided by 12 is 93.75%. So if I underclock this, both of these, to 93.75%, now it's using 11.25. That gets me to 22.5, which leaves 7.5 heat sinks left over for... Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. And now we're producing 5 point... Okay. Let me copy this and paste it. Okay. So now we're making 5.625 times 2. We're actually making 11.25 cooling systems per minute. And as far as I can tell, we're not using any of them, but I need to get some signage in place. And that means we have no heat sinks left over, but the remainder can go over to the power plant. Okay, so the remainder of the heat sinks can go over to the power plant, and they will be used by it. So how are we handling that right now? Where are the remainder of the heat sinks going? Hey, Mick, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Okay, the remainder of the heat sinks needs to go over there and then join that line and make its way over to the nuclear power plant. Yes, the remaining 7.5 heat sinks per minute are going to be just what we need. So let's get that headed over in that direction. Why don't we head out this way and join the road? Yep, this looks good. So we have a pipeline over here. It's there is a height difference here, but that's okay. Let's try to figure out what this looks like. That's going over here. Like this. There we go. Okay. Here come the heat sinks. Now, interestingly, why has this slowed down? I guess production... Let's see. No drone. No, there's the drone. So you're dropping off heat sinks and rubber, right? Transfer rate, 2.66 stacks per minute. Stack of heat sinks is 50. Well, but no, there's rubber there. Let's see the incoming fill up here as you unload. Okay, yeah, 100 heat sinks. It should be right. It should be exactly the amount that goes into the port per minute comes over here. It just takes, there's a delay. So it should be fine. We should have the right numbers. And the heat sinks begin to flow again. Okay, let's take the heat sinks over to the nuclear plant. Compboy says, remember to leave a bit of wiggle room. No wiggle room. Exact numbers only. Looks like I did run wire over here, so I can use my hover pack the whole way, which is very handy. Did that go up? It did, didn't it? Son of a bee sting. Okay. So this is handy. I won't actually have to build these heat sinks. I won't have to do more bauxite aluminum stuff just yet. I will later probably, but for now we're okay. Okay, now we got to figure out how we're getting out there. What we're doing there. Kid of War says, why using belt Mark 5 when you just need 7.5 per minute? So for me, oftentimes, it's easier just to use the highest level of belt because I essentially have infinite amounts of it. And at some point in the future, I might repurpose this belt or I might put more onto it. It's just easier when I can to just use like these belts for everything. If that makes sense. Okay, we need to actually move the heat sinks over out to these guys, right? Yeah. Okay. So now we can put on our splitters here, because we know which direction things are coming from. Let's bring this out. So here's our heat sink line. We're going to need steel beam still, but we're closer. Closer to being done than I expect it to be at this point of the stream, to be honest. Let's build a little bit of you out. Keep going with you for a while. And then we're going to end up. So if you go directly and connect and clip, and then we go back 1, 2, 3, then we should be able to go where you would clip and then lift you up by 1. Maybe with a, yeah, with that it works. Okay. Then we'll go to there. And then down 1, 2, 3, like that. Does that look right? Yeah, that looks right. And then we just gotta lift it up again. And if we have a splitter here, now this should lock in, right? Yep, okay. And we put a lift. And connect you like so. Conveyor belt's too steep. All right, how about that? How about like that? Let me actually back this up a little bit. Let's put you there. That looks good. Okay, the heat sinks flow. Hop over. Make their way down. Enter Nirvana, where they will be used to turn our nuclear waste into plutonium fuel rods. Very nice. Hey, Paddywhack and Strife A, welcome back to the channel. Good to see you guys again. Kid of War says, I think I understand, but there's some items like heat sinks you'll never even get close to a Mark III belt. So like for me, this is gonna be a Max Mark II, because I will never do that much anyways. So in the early to mid game, because this is getting close to late game, building nuclear power. In the early to mid game, I do the same thing as you. I use exactly the belt that I need and no more. But as you get towards the late game, and you essentially have, because of the Dimensional Depot, you have infinite amounts of the highest quality or highest speed. To me, it no longer makes sense to worry about using the most efficient belt. Like, for one thing, it moves items along faster. So like this could have been a Mark I belt, but the heat sink still would have been all the way back there. They wouldn't be here already. It's not just the capacity, it's the speed of the belt, right? So there's multiple reasons to use it at a certain point. Now that does mean we need one last thing, which is the steel. And I'm wondering if I can't drone some over, to be honest. We don't need that much. We need 13.5. And I don't think we're using that much of what we're building back home. So I think we might just be setting up another drone port entry here. Take a look at that. Yeah, that looks fine. So like, if I had a drone port right here, just bringing in steel beams, the problem is limiting the flow, but I guess I could use a slower belt for that, and it'll back up, or it'll back up eventually anyway. Let me go home and take a look at steel beams and see what the numbers look like, I think. Yeah, okay. We're very close here. He's just being lazy about it, and that's totally okay. Thank you, Strife. And you don't have to wait 6 hours for things to level up. What happens when the coolant is stuck? I'm Compoy 100. I'm not sure what you mean by the coolant. Just tell me you aren't using regular fuel in the drones. No, I believe I'm using turbo fuel because I had some available. Okay, let's check out steel beams. That's here. So we need to kind of trace this through production for a bit. Don't remember where things are coming from. It's all kind of a mess down here. So hold on. Looks like we've got a merger of lines here. Yeah, so there's 1, 2. Looks like there's just these two producing. Is that right? Is that literally the only steel beam production I have? That can't be right. And they're just going into... Nothing's getting peeled off and used for something else? I must have more somewhere. Yeah, it's very cramped down here. If I was gonna do another playthrough, I would leave more room between levels for sure. I'd be a little bit more deliberate about it. But we're making 15 per minute here and 11.25 per minute here. And as far as I can tell, the only place it's going is into the container. So I guess this is just for me? There's no reason I can't steal 13 of these, I think. Yeah, I don't see a reason not to. If the only thing they're doing is going into a container, I'm barely using them anymore. I can't believe I didn't peel some of these off and use them for something else, though. It's kind of weird. All right, well, let's get the overflow into, I guess, a drone port, or... Like, that's so weird to me. I must be making more somewhere else. Oh, you're floating in the middle of the air now because I deleted your thing. How am I gonna do this? Where can I put a drone port? I don't have a great place nearby. I could go down a level, I guess. Yeah, that's probably what I do. All right, so we'll throw a splitter on here. We'll feed this line back in. And then we'll drop some down. I guess I'd like this to be a little bit faster. We'll drop some down to a drone port below, I guess. I guess that makes sense. It's sort of hard to do this in the middle of the night. But, all right, let's get... Yeah, let's take advantage of this. We'll build a little drone port platform here. Something, yeah, something like this will work. I guess we'll rebuild this. So you're going to come down to ground level. And this is just going to be a floating platform for the drone platform, or the drone port, I guess. Takes a lot of regular fuel to run drones. They have the highest consumption rate. Yeah, at the moment, I've only got a handful of drones going, so I feel like it's okay. I'm barely using... So the turbo fuel is another one of these recipes that I'm making where the only consumer was me until I got some drones up and running. All right, let's see what we need for a drone port. Transport drone port. It's a little bit bigger. Okay. But it should fit right around there, I think. Oh, I'm missing radio control units. Hold up. Why do I not have... Why can I not see anything? Oh my god, it's so dark at night. I hate it. Please, mod makers, get the mods working again so I can make it be daylight all the time. What did I come up here for? Radio control units. I should have made some over here. Might be a good time to make a few more. Yeah, there's a handful. This is another one of these temporary builds that I'm going to have to fix later. Oh, I know what I wanted to check. Can I upload my Fix-It coupons? I can. Okay. That's handy. Where did I put that hole in the ground? There? Okay. I guess I'll close that up. Yeah, it's kind of a mess down here. I didn't do the best job in using verticality here. I kind of went down too little. All right, let's see about a drone port, something like that. So fuel goes in there. I guess we could move it a bit left. I guess that's fine. And then we'll put one more row of foundation here to... Even though this is floating in the middle of nowhere, it still can look like it's kind of got a platform. We're gonna have to rebuild this to point the other way. So you'll go like this. And then we feed the extra steel beams into you. Now you're gonna need power. So where's my floating pole? Yeah, my floating pole here. You can come power this on. Okay. So you are technically up to 15 plus 11. So like, we'll call you 25. Your steel beam exporter. I guess. Then you need a drone. The drone needs fuel. Let's get the drone down. Transport drone. Okay. We need to grab some fuel for you, so let's get you a belt for that. Up around here somewhere. I guess we're going to grab it from there, but there's like a lot of stuff at the ceiling here. I guess the clipping doesn't super matter. Let's get you headed over towards the turbo fuel. Let's get the splitter. That locked in, nice and friendly. Okay, so now we have steel beams available. Just a handful. We only need 13.5. We're making 25. So, like, we're guaranteed that there'll be enough produced to come out here and service the nuclear plant. So we're almost done. We build a drone port, connect it up, and then we open up the uranium and let our freak flag fly and see if the whole build works. So we're very close here. You have lights in the awesome shop. I know. It's just too much effort to get them set up. Be your guest to use them. I did get lights in part of this. I have lights somewhere around here. I think, yeah, see, I put some lights in over here, and I admit it was handy. But, like, I don't even like coming down here, really. Okay. Let's get back over to the nuclear plant. Get our drone, our receiving drone port down with the steel beams. Okay. So I want my output going directly into there. How does that look? That looks fine. Okay. You need power from somewhere. Where have I got a nub? Right there. That works. Okay. And you are going to be named Nuclear Steel Beam Importer. Okay. So, steel beam exporter. Your target is this port, nuclear steel beam importer. Very nice. The importers, none of the importers have a destination. That's correct. Okay, so the other drone should be coming from over there now, right? I need to see the beams arrive, unfortunately. Let me take a look. So that's one of the drone ports. There should be two drone ports here. Cooling system exporter. Okay, steel beam exporter just left. It's on its way. It's taking an interesting route. I wonder how they route it. Like, I guess they give it a they choose an altitude for it, and then they route it as best they can to avoid the landscape geometry. All right, so here it comes. It's coming out to me over here. Should be able to see it arrive. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So you should have steel beams for me, right? You go up. That's interesting. And then your descent is kind of slow. Kind of whatever. We're going to be turning this on in just a minute, gentlemen and ladies. All right, do your docking mate. Your mating ritual dance. It is kind of vaguely insectoid, isn't it? The drone. It's got a weird little eye on the front of it too, that kind of winks. See this little like blinking eye? I guess it's its ocular, it's like camera or whatever. Drops off its package. There's my steel beams. All right, so you guys should now be ready, right? You've got your steel beams, your electromagnetic control rods, and your heat sinks. You're ready to make your plutonium fuel rod. That's going to go into the awesome sink, which is powered on. I think we're done. I think we've completed the build. And all that's left to do is connect the raw uranium and then watch it all flow and see if it works. Wow, this is exciting. I only ever got nuclear power working once before. And I'm not, why do I not have, I guess I need a little bit of momentum to cross the little gap for the electricity. Not quite reaching. All right, let's fix this once and for all. Let's build a little teeny tiny backstop here. Like just down to there should be enough. And then we can just do something like this. And that should be enough for me to cover the distance and get back up. Are you not connected to anything? You should be. Why are you not? Oh, you're not connected. That's why we have problems. Hold on. Why are you not connected? I thought we did something here. Oh, that's why. Okay. Okay, now this should work, right? Yeah, so maybe I don't even need the rest of that, but I can still connect to it. Yeah, there's the first connection. There's the second connection. Okay. Let's get over here and turn the uranium mine on. We will make a hard save first, just in case. You're worried about the heat sinks. In what sense are you worried, Compaway? And Pattywack says, I hope you like green. So, I did some reading on the subject. It seems like as long as you don't allow too many radioactive items to collect in one place, like you would with a manifold system, as long as you load balance most of the radioactive stuff, the actual radiation shouldn't be too bad. Like over there at the plutonium, that's going to be pretty bad. But I'm actually curious to see how well this setup works in terms of being survivable to be around this build. Like how many filters do I go through per second or minute? Given that, I still think this is a really cool elevator. I like this pillar idea. It's very dope to me. Given that we're trying to spread out as much of the like radioactive material as possible. I don't know what I'm gonna do after this, but man, getting this build complete is very exciting. For those of you who've been here for the past couple of streams, thanks for sticking through the whole thing. It's been a lot of fun having you around. Okay, let's get you turned around. Production miner Mark III. We want you to produce exactly 300 uranium per second. Here we go. So you can see the radiation level's at like 33%, and my iodine filter is burning very slowly, right? If I go right up next to it, the iodine filter starts burning more quickly. But it's not that bad. All right. So we do have power over here. Let's capture some of that. Bring it along to here. And turn it on. All right, hold on. Actually, before we do that, this is the moment of truth. Here's we find out if everything works. Hard save. Hey, Unique Breakfast Taco, welcome back to the channel. Says, can confirm Balance the rods and waste, and it's not too bad. Yeah, I hope that's what I've got going on. How did you build that long of a lift? So if you have floor holes, so you see I have the conveyor lift floor hole here. If you have floor holes and I exactly match up the top and bottom, you can build lifts of infinite length. And then these are just concrete pillars on the side, just for aesthetics, and also to run the power line behind. All right, let's make a hard save. Pre-nuclear. Save. All right, so 85 and a half hours to get here, folks in the chat. 85, ladies and gentlemen, and those of non-binary nature. 85 and a half hours to reach this point. And we're going to turn this on and see if it works. LFG, let's flip and go. All right, let's watch it all happen. Not done this stuff yet, never needed that much power. Lifts have longer reach if you use 2 floor holes for them. There we go. 300 raw uranium per minute begins to flow down the line. Let's follow its journey to becoming power for me. Oh, that's friggin' cool. Look at that. Hold on. Look at that. Do I want to be looking down or looking up? Yeah, I think I want to be looking down. That is a cool-ass screenshot. That's really cool. I like that a lot. Let me get maybe a little bit closer. Does radiation damage not happen when you're in photo mode? I don't seem to be... Like, okay, so I guess I don't take radiation when it's in a lift like this. We'll say it's shielded by the concrete. Okay. Now, the next question is, now that the uranium is flowing into the blenders, are we consuming it all properly? And are we producing encased uranium cells? Let's see. Kid of War says, congrats, thank you so much. Oh, look at this. The goo that it's making has turned green. All right, so we are consuming 100 uranium per minute here. I'm, I guess, a little nervous. I guess I did set up a manifest here. I didn't really split this. 18, 100. So if I get down close to this, do I start to feel radioactive? Not so much. Okay. 95% efficiency. 100% efficiency. Yeah, we're starting to get some radiation now. But not too much. We're constructing encased uranium cells. Looks like because the raw uranium isn't load balanced, we do have a manifold here. So this one's going to be at 100, and it is going to fill up. It's going to fill up with the raw uranium. So there'll be a little bit of a radiation hotspot here, but eventually these will balance. Now, as the encased uranium comes over here, you should be starting to make uranium fuel rods. You are. Fantastic. You're making uranium fuel rods. Okay. Let's watch this one make its journey. So like I'm here at uranium production, and there's no radiation poisoning. There's no damage. There goes one of my uranium fuel rods. So that's been produced. If I get real close to it, still no real radiation damage. Okay. Which way are you going? You're going over here? Okay. And then do you go left or right? You went right. Okay. So you should pop out front here. I don't know if I can get there fast enough. You should pop out over here. And either go into... You should probably go left, I think. Let's see it happen. I don't know if I can see... Nope. That's waste. We'll track the waste in a moment. Let's see. Do you have a fuel rod? No fuel. Did you get a fuel rod? No fuel there. So where did that rod go? Over here? Wait, what happened to that? What happened to that one fuel rod? It went down there, and then where? It should have come up. here and gone into one of these. So it should have gone left, right, or forward. You are connected, right? Yeah, there's a belt there. Where did you go? Huh. I do see some of them are turning on. So it's going to take a minute for everything to power up, but at least one of them is on. Yeah. Okay. Numbers go up. This is interesting. We're seeing some spikes in the power production. You're out of fuel now. So it's going to take a minute, I guess. What is this? Do you not have enough water, or what's going on with you? Why don't you have more water? Flow rate. Why is your water so low? Hold on. That's full. This seems to be... Is this too much head lift? What's going on here? Wait, you don't have power. Why don't you have power? No, you do have power. Why are you red then? We might have some problems. I'm not sure. They're not connected to the power network, I think. No, they are connected. No, they're not. Oh my. Okay, hold on. How are you? Where are you missing your connection? I mean, I could have sworn I connected these up somewhere. That one's connected. And that's connected just fine, I think. Hold on. Now some of these are running. Let's go down the line to make sure. Yeah, okay, now we're getting waste out. Okay, now things are green. All right, so I was missing a connection there from the water, it looks like. You don't have fuel. That's okay. But you're running, right? Yep. Okay, look at the... Yeah, we're starting to see the graph numbers go up here. This should be load balanced such that each of them should be getting another fuel rod right as the first one runs out. Yeah, you're burning fuel, you're using water, you're producing power, and you're producing waste. So you have no fuel because you should get it just in time. So as soon as this runs out, the next fuel rod should arrive. All right, so green, green, green. We got red here. I think the water problem should be fixed soon. So we're green mostly across the line. The third ones are having some trouble. There is one small thing here. So I have a splitter here that splits this line into 5, and there's a return line, and it takes a couple iterations for it to actually hit the perfect distribution ratio. So there may be a little bit more time, but like most of them are online, and I think in like 20 minutes, they'll be fully online, and we'll see what we expect, which is exactly at the moment that it runs out of fuel, another rod arrives. Let's take a look. Let's see how that feels. So I'm looking at this bar right here in the upper left, just to see one that's very low and see how long the interval is between when it finishes burning its current rod and when it gets its next rod. So I'm looking for one that's mostly burnt. I mean, it does seem like it's working. 1, 2, 3, you should be kind of low. No, I guess not. Okay. Internal stocks full on water. Check each pipe. I mean, are they all green right now? There should be one that's like very close to almost done. Yeah, they're all... Okay, so they're all giving off steam. I guess they're all working now. Is the power line stable? Yeah, 58,000. Looks like I did it. Now, whether the waste is being properly disposed of is another question, but it looks like the actual distribution of the uranium fuel rods has worked correctly. You're almost done. Hold on. You're almost done. You're full again. All right, let's watch you. So, what does it take? It takes like, it burns 0.2 rods per minute, so it takes like 5 minutes to burn 1 fuel rod. I want to see the interval between when it finishes burning this rod and when it gets its next one. It should be almost instantaneous. Hey, Compoy, thank you so much for your woo. I mean, I kind of feel like wooing too. That's a lot of, that's a big build. That was 6 streams, I think, to get this built. All right, let's watch. It's very close here. Anyone closer? No, not you. Yeah, it's going to be you. All right. Do you have an efficiency? Yeah, you have an uptime, 100%. Okay, so right as this disappears, the next rod should appear. And we should kind of see it coming down the line. Boy, they do take a while, huh? We're not making that many that often. Okay, we're very close here. It should be in just a few moments. Let's see. Yeah, so right as this ends, we should see the next one arrive. Okay, so it's out, it's idle. And then how long does it take? Like I said, the load balancer has a few iterations before it hits perfect distribution. It takes like 5 or 6 iterations of the whole cycle, all 15. So it might be half an hour before this gets perfect. But I am waiting to see this. See, there's one coming back on. That's another thing, is I do need to watch and make sure the return line merge of that 5 splitter is working correctly. All right, so it's kind of not perfect yet. We'll give that some time. So ideally, one of these, okay, you're going middle. I think the next one that comes is gonna, the next one that comes is gonna go left. Right? Yeah, that's correct. Then this one goes right. And it should go to the right and cycle back in, merge back in. Yeah, so this cycle has to happen a couple of times before the load balancing is perfect. Because essentially, I've got 3 branches over there and 2 branches over here, so the third one needs to come back. So yeah, it will take some time to get everything balanced perfectly. We'll have to check back in like 20 minutes or an hour or something. Not exactly sure what the amount is. Let's go look at the waste disposal, make sure that's happening correctly. So, by the way, as I said, we've load balanced a lot of stuff here. We're not really getting any radiation problems. Like, we're right in the heart of our nuclear plant, and so far, it doesn't look too bad. Like, I'm not even close enough to get radiation here. All right, let's see what's happening here. You are making non-fissile uranium. Okay. The non-fissile uranium, you're making 75 per minute. So there's a batch of it. If I get down near it, like, I'm getting a little tiny bit of radiation if I'm right at ground level as the waste passes me by. Where's your batch of non-fissile uranium? Let's see it. There's your batch. No real radiation problems. Why aren't you... Let's see you make some... There. Okay, there we go. You're making non-fissile uranium. That's going into the particle accelerator, which is making plutonium pellets. That looks like that's functional. Yep, there go the plutonium pellets. They're going into encased plutonium cell production. Looks like that's functioning as well. Those are going under the water here over into this. Now we're making the fuel rods. That is working, 100% efficiency. We have a lot more radiation here at the plutonium. 100% efficiency on both of these. And the output, when it's produced, let's just watch it go into the awesome sink. Yeah, the plutonium is much more radioactive than the uranium. In they go, right? Come on, show it to me. Show it to me. I want to see it. I want to finish the journey. I want to see a plutonium fuel rod get sunk into the awesome sink. Come on. It can't be that far. There we go. And in they go. Look at that. So we had like 54 tickets before. Now we're already up to 58. Look at the spike here. Fantastic. You should store plutonium when you unlock the next stage. You can use that for power generation. Well, storing it is really dangerous, and when I set it up, I'll consume exactly as much as I produce, so there's no point making extra. I agree, when I get there, I'll probably use the plutonium. But overall, I think this build needs a little bit of time to balance out the load balancer. But overall, I think we got it right. It looks to me like we did everything correct, and we've got the massive increase in our power output, and we learned a lot about a lot of the machines and a lot of the materials here. So I'm pretty stoked on this. Our capacity now is at 50 gigawatts. And I think our max capacity is like 54 if one more machine comes on, one more plant comes online. So yeah. Max consumption's less than half. So we could build everything we've built all over again and still not even be at our production right now. And that's max consumption, not actual consumption. Actual consumption is at 8 gigs out of 53, 54. Really, really cool. Lots of power to move forward with the rest of the game. I don't even know if we'll need to burn the plutonium at any point, because like we've got a lot of power right now. Maybe we will, but we've got power for another month of streaming, I think, before we have to worry about it again. To finish up the game on this much nuclear power. Very cool to see it all in action, see it all work. All the planning and effort that went in has paid off, and we've got our nuclear build complete. I'm very, very happy with that. Okay, well, I don't know exactly what my next project is going to be yet. Basically now I have to go back into tier 7 and start at the beginning and fully automate everything for myself that I don't already have fully automated. We're going to have to work on project assembly. We got phase 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 to do. I don't know where the hell we're going to get nuclear pasta or some of these other projects. But I know we got to automate things like turbo motors and like a bunch of other stuff that we made temporary builds for, we got to fix. But I'm very happy to have this completed at 85.5 hours. I guess 86 hours now. We'll have to come back in future streams and make sure the load balancing is working, because it looks like maybe, I don't know, maybe there's not quite enough uranium rod production, or maybe it's just a load balancer issue. Maybe over time it'll settle in. Because like, okay, here's the question. Do any of them have extra fuel? If any of them have an extra rod, then that kind of explains what's going on. Either that, or I might have made too many of these. I'm not sure. We'll have to check. So if any of the burning ones have an extra rod, that's a balancing issue, and we'll see. No fuel there. No fuel there. These are kind of shutting down. I should be making 3 rods per minute, and I should be consuming 3 rods per minute. Okay, let's just double check. 0.2 per minute, right? We've got 15 nukes, plants. 3. They should be consuming 3 rods per minute. Let's make sure we're making 3 rods per minute. Maybe I made a mistake there. I don't think I did, but we can check. You done did it. Just unhook the belt and run it into new gens. Yes, but it produces, if you burn plutonium rods, it produces plutonium waste. And right now I have no way to deal with plutonium waste other than just sticking it in a storage container, which is not a long-term solution. So until I unlock Fixonium, which is in tier 9, which is going to involve completing phase 3. Until I have unlocked Fixonium, I don't feel that I can burn the plutonium rods. All right. You're making 1 per minute. Why are you at 11%? Okay, this is a problem. You're at 11%. You're at 27%. Okay, so what's going wrong here? There is a problem. We're not producing enough rods. It looks like it's the encased uranium cells that are the problem. You're at 14%. Why are you at 14%? Why are you idle? What's going on with you? Why are you idle? You have sulfuric acid, you have concrete, you have uranium. What is going on here? Did I make a mistake? Oh, you have too much sulfuric acid output. Okay. Well, hold on a minute. Maybe that's the problem. That's definitely a problem. Are you producing... You're producing 20 per minute. You're producing 20 per minute. Did I overclock you? You're producing 20 per minute, so that should be 60. You should be consuming 80. It feels like... Well, no, hold on. If I delete that, this starts working. Okay, so there's some sort of problem with the sulfuric acid circulation. You should only be producing 60 per minute. 60 per minute. And 60 per minute. All right, hang on a second. I might not quite have exactly what I need in this setup. So as you produce, it should also drain out. That was the idea. You should not build up a stock. Because you should be consuming your own recycling in these pumps. It should, the number should be exact. Your acid is full, output blocked, sulfuric acid out, acid. Okay, you guys saw it pretty fast. So I need to check that. Okay, so that's not building up anymore. I need to make sure this doesn't build up. Like, these pipes should basically be 100% full all the way around. And we should be drawing in enough out of the pipes that these refineries can't keep up, and we need to draw in the recycling as well. Now, maybe I need to tune this down just a hair somewhere in terms of the production at the refineries. But it feels like it should be balanced here. Let's check. Yeah, you're up to 9.7. You're up to 6.6. You're empty. But you guys are accumulating. Maybe I need it to run back around here as well. Maybe it's a flow rate issue. Hold on. It's weird to me. It's weird to me that it's not like if it's I guess if it's not at 100% uptime. That would partially explain it. Wouldn't be consuming enough. Yeah, if you're not at 100% uptime, you're not consuming enough. Maybe that was the problem. You should all be stocked full of uranium and concrete. Okay, maybe now it'll work correctly. I think it might have been a flow issue. Because it was like all of it's being like before I put that second pipe in, all of it was being pushed this way. It should have been enough to fill the pipe, but maybe it was meeting some resistance. I don't know. If these hit 100% uptime, then that should fix the issue. This should drain out. As long as this isn't ever actually idle, let's watch. So you're not idle. You immediately begin constructing. Same with you. Let's see. You've drained out. I need to see you drain out completely. Okay, you drained out completely. You drained out completely. You drained out completely. I think we're there now. I think that last piece of the pipe was the solution. Loop both ends of the pipe, not just one. Mix up took off. Thank you so much for stopping by. A buffer and valve maybe. What is being produced plus the residual output? Too much sulfuric. It should be the numbers should balance correctly. I think the initial problem started because of the manifold. So there were like a couple minutes where this one didn't have enough uranium and wasn't fully running, so it wasn't consuming enough. But look, they're consuming 60 and producing 20. So they need a net of 60 added each minute. And for each of these blenders, I have one of these refineries making 60. I think the second pipe did the trick. I think it was a flow rate issue. So you'll see now there's no buildup here. This 1.6 of extra drains out. This is fully draining out. And this is fully draining out. So I think we're okay now. I think closing the circuit fixed the issue. All right, so now those should be operating at 100%, and that means these should be operating at 100%, producing our uranium fuel rods, right? How many of these have I gone through? Like one iodine filter, by the way? Not that hard to deal with. Okay, well this is why we check, right? So once these are producing 3 a minute, which I think they now are, we should see this balance out and everything kind of work. Again, it'll take a few minutes for everything to get solved, but I do wish, you know what would be another nice mod? A way to skip forward an hour in-game or skip forward a day in-game. I guess the calculations would be like extremely challenging. Like I understand why they couldn't do it. That'd be cool. All right, this one's at 99%. This one's climbing from 92%. Looks like we're okay here. Yeah, you're at 100%. You're at 97. You're at 98. Okay, so these should now be producing the right amount of rods per minute. And that was the one bug that I'm glad I checked. I'm glad I checked because I was like, is there some problem here? It feels like that was the solution. Although that pipe is friggin' ugly. Now that's a little yikesy. Let's fix that. How can I fix that? I want to do it pretty quickly. Dang it, now it's too low. This is gonna screw with things for a minute, but I'll get it fixed. Does that look right? No, I've done it wrong again. God damn it. You belong there. Okay, that's right. That should be right. Okay, so now we're gonna have problems again for a second. Because now there's not quite enough in the system. Let me juice you up for a second. Okay. I think that's enough. Okay, let's take a look. Yeah, that's full again. Okay, so you're draining out. You should be draining out just fine. Yep, okay. Are you draining out just fine too? Looks like it. Because they had a little bit stored up, so it's okay. I think that actually works out perfectly. Yeah, everything's fine there. You're at 100% efficiency. You're at 100% efficiency. And you're at 100%. You're at 98. So you had a moment with the encased uranium cells. But I think you're going to be fine. And look, now they're all running. Now all 15 are running correctly. Perfect. Okay. I think that's it. I think we're done. And our final power capacity is 58 gigawatts. 58,097.4 megawatts. So almost 60 gigs of power. 60 gigawatts of power. And we're using 10. Kind of amazing, right? Derek Herrickson, welcome back to the channel. Says, ad was being produced plus a residual output to it. Oh, yeah. You have an extra 60 sulfuric. Okay, that was the least egregious line in your factory and you fixed it. Mick's taking off. Thanks for stopping by, Mick. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Wow. Yeah, so the nuclear build is complete. How about that? Tell me that doesn't look amazing. The line of nuclear power plants. Functional at last. Producing 60 gigawatts of power. All the waste completely eliminated and disposed of safely. No giant stockpile of radioactive waste that I have to worry about. I'm very, very pleased with how this played out. And that is going to be it for the stream, which is a shame because we're at 16 viewers, which I think is the biggest number I've had this year. But with that done, I really like the build is done. I don't want to start something new until I've thought about it. When we come back tomorrow, we'll be going back into Tier 7 and working on automating all of that. We might build some trains. We might build some belts. We'll definitely build some turbo motors and a few other things. And we'll start working our way up towards... Oh, okay. We're not quite 100% yet, but yeah, I'd see it came back on like a fraction of a second later. We'll start working on Project Assembly Phase 4, trying to get that completed and moving into the end game. But that is going to be it for today's stream. Thank you guys so much for being here. We had Ohio, welcome back. BR Rux, you're a first-time viewer. Sorry you showed up so late, or maybe you were lurking, but welcome to the channel. You have 134 gigawatts. Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your company and your plaudits and your applause and your congratulations. Unique Breakfast Taco, Mikos, Compboy 100, Ohio, BR Rux, Mixup, Strife A, Derek Herrickson, Paddywhack, Compboy, Kid of War. Let's see, who else said something here? I feel like that's everybody who chatted. There might be a few more that I missed. I'm sorry if I missed you. And to everybody lurking now or watching the VOD in the future, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for sharing this accomplishment with me. I feel very proud of this. Very happy to have this nuclear build complete and functional and apparently working at 100%. A lot of planning, a lot of building, and then you turn it on and it works. It's a very gratifying, satisfying sensation. I have a lot of satisfaction right now. That's going to be it for the stream. Thank you so much again for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on the alerts so you get notified when I come live. Tomorrow morning, I'll be playing Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. If you're into JRPGs, turn-based JRPGs, come by. It's a crazy fun game. There's a lot of cool combat and a lot of weird, funny, quirky, strange set pieces in the game. It's a fun game. And then later tomorrow afternoon, we'll be playing more Satisfactory, and I'll let you know more about what we're going to do then. But for now, have a great rest of your Sunday, a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.